ball? Oh, where's the ball? Don't forget to stay crazy.
Welcome to Smart Went Crazy episode 30. Tonight I'm by myself, and tonight's podcast we are going to discuss mostly sports, but it is Meme Wednesday, so I got a meme for you. I'm going to give you my prediction on the NBA championships, the NHL Stanley Cup, and I'm going to give you some MLB predictions, and I'm giving you some NFL predictions as well. I know it's early, but I figured since it's the summer and we're in OTAs, on every single episode from now on until preseason, I'm going to give you a prediction on one team in the NFL. And the prediction is going to be who's going to make the 53-man roster, who's going to start at quarterback, defense, what kind of defensive scheme they're going to implement, how they're going to run their offense, all that. Maybe I might even guess if they pick up any free agents or make a trade or whatever. Tonight's episode is just going to be the Bills. I'm going to break it down who I think makes the Bills roster, how they're going to run their offense, and etc. So with that being said, let's get into the quote of the day. So tonight's quote of the day is coming at you from legendary Bills head coach Marv Levy. And the quote is, "Adversity is an opportunity for heroism." I'll let that sink in for a second. So let's get into the fail of the day. Tonight's fail of the day is coming at you from no other than the Don himself, President Donald Trump, with his phenomenal tweet about the press. And he said, I quote, "Despite the constant negative press coverage." Now, I think he was trying to say negative press coverage, and maybe he was going to go on to say something about how they're failing or whatever and how horrible they are and such a shame, whatever he was going to say. We could probably figure that out at this point. But I think he accidentally got his little fingers hit the send button, and the tweet was sent. So that is today's fail of the day from the president, the Don, the Trump. But it gets even crazier, though. Hillary Clinton has came out and said that she thinks Kavefei was a code to the Russians. Oh, my God. That's our second fail of the day. You were this close to being the leader of the free world, and you couldn't even take 2 seconds to read what the tweet was going to say. Negative press coverage. And he misspelled it. And he fucked it up. It was a fucking dumb tweet. But you're literally going to push that narrative about Russia? Come on! And I'm not done yet. Tonight was a 3-way tie for fail of the day. And the third fail of the day is by far probably the biggest fail. Kathy Griffin. Kathy, actually, you know what? I should applaud you for this. Where's the applaud button? Let me see. Because this isn't really a fail for Kathy. Kathy, as we all know, is someone who has made a career off seeking attention for doing dumb shit. And hats off to you, Kathy, because you've done it again. You've got attention. You succeeded. So for those of you who live under a rock, Kathy Griffin posed for a photo shoot with a severed head, bloody head of Donald Trump. She's very, very far leftist. And I don't know. I guess this was supposed to be art. Some people think this is art. Other people with brains up here just think it's just dumb. But, you know, she came out and apologized after the fact that she had a backlash, people hating on her. No, I'm sorry. Please accept my apology. And she's rolling her eyes and shit. The shit was horrible. It wasn't even a real apology. She's just trying to get people off her back. So there you go. There's Kathy Griffin. And tonight's hero of the day, I selected Greg Allman, who recently just passed. A legend in rock and roll. Not only rock and roll, but Americana in general. He will be forever remembered and lived through the music of his and the band, the Allman Brothers. Just an all-around great guy. So he is the hero of the day. So it is Meme Wednesday. I got a meme for y'all. I don't even know if this is old or new, but I just saw it for the first time the other day, and I absolutely loved it. This is Kumba Kumba by Mac B. Roll it.
The cucumber, or as they call it in Jamaica, cucumba. Cucumba. Vitamins, minerals, very high number. Silica, hair and nails get longer. Other vitamins make your bones them stronger. Anti-wrinkle make you look younger. 95% water. Kidney cleanser, great hydrator. Detox, fiber, good regulator. Your body good things, don't be a traitor. Get the cucumber, cut it in a slice. Put it in a jug of water overnight. You know what you get for a fraction of the price? Energy drink full of electrolyte. Roaring salad is one of the use as a base for your vegetable juice. Another surprise, put a slice on your eyes, take away the dryness, revitalize. Oh yes. One thing I have left, cucumber can also help with bad breath. Wash away the bacteria that cause the odor. Cucumber water instead of soda. A Maccabee Medical Monday. Cucumber.
All I gotta say about that is that that's not the coolest dude you've ever met in your entire life. Then you just don't know what cool is. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? I'm going to give you my prediction for the NBA championship. And this year, for the third year in a row, it's Golden State and Cleveland. Last year, Cleveland won, being down by 3-1 in the series, and came back to win in Game 7. The year before that, Golden State had won and defeated Cleveland. This year, I predict Golden State to win. I'm going to say in Game 6. You know what? No, they're going to go to Game 7. They're going to definitely go to Game 7. This is such a close matchup. But I think it's going to come down to slowing down LeBron James. For Cleveland, it's going to be how Kevin Love performs, how Kyrie Irving performs. I think Draymond is going to hold his own on LeBron, and I think Kevin Durant is also going to cover LeBron and hold his own. But I think Draymond can do a better job defending LeBron than Kevin Durant, and I think that's just obvious. But offensively, I think Kevin Durant will be the X factor for the Warriors, and between him and Curry, both putting up high 20s in the points at each game. I think Golden State can pull it off. I think it either be a Game 6 or 7. It's probably, I'm leaning towards Game 7, so I think it's going to be a crazy close series. And it's going to be something to watch. This is history in the making. To me, this is more than the Lakers and the Celtics in the late 80s. Maybe somebody from that era would tell me I'm wrong. Fair enough. But I'm 27 right now. This is our era. So I'm watching, for me, this is like watching history unfold. with that being said, let's get into hockey. So right now, as I'm making this, I'm watching the NHL Stanley Cup between Pittsburgh and Nashville, Game 2. The score is 1-1 at the time of this recording. We're in the second period, and Pittsburgh is up in the series 1-0. I think Pittsburgh is going to win this game and be up 2-0. But I also think when they go to Nashville, Nashville will win 2 straight to make it 2-2. Yeah. I also think Pittsburgh will win all their home games, and Nashville will win most of their home games, but they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose their third home game to give Pittsburgh the series in Game 6. And that is my prediction. I got Pittsburgh winning the Stanley Cup in Game 6. That's my NHL prediction. Oh, and Sidney Crosby, I'm going to give him 7 goals. Seven goals and 6 assists at the end of the series. That's my prediction for Sidney. So let's get into some Major League Baseball. Bronx Bombers, baby. Let's do it. First place in the AL East. Right now, they're losing to the Orioles, but they did just beat the Orioles 8-3. It looks like it's the bottom of the 7th, and the Orioles are up 7-3 right now. But in the standings, the Yankees are in first place with 30 wins, and I think this is going to continue. So it seems like in MLB, each division, you're starting to see a champion arise in each division, and teams are starting to pull away. Like Washington in the NL East has 32 wins. They're ahead of the Mets. But the only division that I see that's close right now is the NL West, where the Dodgers, Colorado, and Arizona are all tied with 32 wins. If I had to pick who I think would emerge from that division and pull away and become the number one, I'm going to have to say the Dodgers, just because I just can see them as a winning team. Guys like Bellinger, Chase Utley, and Yasiel Puig are going to continue to make plays and winning games for the Dodgers. I can easily see them being triumphant in this division. That's pretty much all I got for MLB right now. Now we're getting on to the main part of what I wanted to discuss tonight, and that's my home team of my favorite sport, the Bills and the NFL. And I'm going to kick it off. This series is a 32-part series. I'm going to break down all 32 NFL teams before the regular season starts. And I'm starting off with the Bills, who I'm most familiar with, who I've been following every day, every second, for as long as I can remember. Every time the Bills make a move, I'm always analyzing it. So let's get into that right now. So the first thing I want to point out here is offensive coordinator Rick Dennison. Now, Rick Dennison is a guy who runs a West Coast philosophy offense. And based on the personnel who he is using, we are going to see a scheme that's based on zone running. So, what that means in basic terms, Tyrod Taylor is a quarterback who can make plays with his feet as well as with his arm. What we're going to see is a lot of play actions, a lot of read options, triple options. This is why, as you see down in the bottom of the screen, possible free agent signings before preseason. Don't be surprised if, with the remaining $5.4 million in cap space the Bills have left, is if we go after a running back like Christian Michael or maybe D'Angelo Williams, who knows head coach Sean McDermott, who has ran triple options with fullback Mike Tolbert, and who knows this sort of system, which is the West Coast zone running, pro set, full house offense. All right. So let's get into the 53-man roster. As you see here, I got starting left tackle Cordy Glenn, like he's been since he's been drafted. He's not going anywhere. Then you got Richie Incognito, one of the best guards in the league. He's not either. Eric Wood, I don't even remember the last time he wasn't the Bills' starting center. The left side of our offensive line is solid. It's rock solid. The right side is where it gets a little bit weaker. Welcome to Smart Went Crazy episode 30. Tonight I'm by myself. Knows head coach Sean McDermott, who has ran triple options with fullback Mike Tolbert, and who knows this sort of system, which is the West Coast zone running, pro set, full house offense. All right, so let's get into the 53-man roster. As you see here, I got starting left tackle Cordy Glenn, like he's been since he's been drafted. He's not going anywhere. Then you got Richie Incognito, one of the best guards in the league. He's not going anywhere either. Eric Wood, I don't even remember the last time he wasn't the Bills' starting center. The left side of our offensive line is solid. It's rock solid. The right side is where it gets a little bit weaker. So the Bills drafted Dion Dawkins, and I think he is going to beat out Jordan Mills for the right tackle spot. I also think Jordan Mills makes the roster and will be his backup. They're sort of going to, I predict they're sort of going to rotate. You're going to see more Dawkins, but you're going to see a lot of Mills, as well as Santrell Henderson too. And I think Santrell Henderson's going to take, when Cordy Glenn needs to take a breather, you're going to see Santrell Henderson get out there and play left tackle. The guards are more solidified positions to me, but you got veterans like Ducasse and Groy, who have been around the league, have bounced around a few teams. And I have Patrick Lewis as my backup center, but I don't think Wood gets off the field much. As far as quarterback, I think Nathan Peterman has a better shot to be the backup. I think Cardell Jones, even though, yeah, it would be, he's the sexy pick. He's the Ohio State national champion who came out of nowhere, who converted from wide receiver to quarterback. And you know what? I got him making the roster. And I hope he proves me wrong. I hope Cardell Jones can step up this year and prove that he can be a quarterback in this league. But right now, I think Nathan Peterman is more of a full quarterback package deal right now. And I have on the right, as you can see, Logan Thomas is my tight end 3, but quarterback 4. He's your emergency quarterback. This is a quarterback who he's played in the league before, but he's now going to be tight end. He's also 6'6", 250 pounds, with a 4.540 or 4.640, which is very fast for that size and measurables. I also think that T.J. Yates is going to be cut. I don't think there's any sense of having him on the roster. After they see that Nathan Peterman is better than him, they're just going to cut him. Which brings me to tight end, because I was talking about Logan Thomas. So Charles Clay, he's not the biggest tight end in the league. He's 6'3". He's a little bit smaller than most tight ends, but he holds his own. He came from the fullback position, which I think in this offense is going to be good. I think we're going to see a lot of Charles Clay in the backfield, lined up as a fullback, maybe in a full house set where you might see Tyrod back a couple feet behind the center with McCoy behind him and Clay on one side of him and Mike Tolbert on the other side of him. And maybe Patrick DeMarco and Nick O'Leary come into this mix as well. But I think Nick O'Leary could very well be Greg Olsen role, as he'll just line up as a traditional tight end and go out and catch some passes. That being said, I think they can use all these players, especially when you kind of look at where the Bills' wide receiving core looks like. It's not very deep. We don't know what Zay Jones is going to do yet. He's a question mark. He could be good, but we don't know yet. He's not a guarantee. Watkins, we know what Watkins can do. If he can stay healthy, he'll be fine. I think Corey Brown or Philly Brown, I think he's going to work out of the slot just because of his skill set, how he's very elusive, very good at missing tackles. And Andre Holmes and Desmond Lewis will be on the roster, 4 and 5. Which brings me to the running back position. So, like I said, I think the Bills might sign another running back because right now behind McCoy there really isn't much. Unless Jonathan Williams can step up and show that he can be a factor in this league. And my third running back, I have the rookie out of UB, Johnson. So I think he'll make the roster just because he'll be affordable and he already lives in the area. And, maybe he can be good. Maybe. At the fullback position, I got Mike Tolbert as the starter, but I think Patrick DeMarco will make the roster just because he is a playmaker type. He can fit in this offense. He's played under these type of schemes before, and he can be your number 4 tight end in certain situations. So I think DeMarco makes the roster. Obviously, the kicker is Stephen Hauschka and punter Colton Schmidt. And that's pretty much it for the offense. And welcome to Smart Went Crazy episode 30. backfield. Mike Tolbert on the left and Charles Clay on the right. That is actually a pretty nasty offense with Sammy Watkins and Zay Jones lined up as your flanker. And then on the right side, you see that is a triple option where you have the option to either hand it off to your fullback and run up the A-gap, or keep it for yourself with Tyrod and try to run and get a first down, or pitch it off to LaShawn McCoy and let him make a play. So that we're going to see a lot of that, in my opinion. Here is going to be more of our passing situations. It's going to be pistol, and shotgun with Welcome to Smart Went Crazy episode 30. Tonight I'm by myself, and tonight's podcast we are going to discuss mostly sports, but it is Meme Wednesday, so I got a meme for you. I'm going to give you my prediction. Decides to run after McCoy, then Tyrod will keep the ball and run up the middle. And as you see on the bottom of the screen, it's the opposite. Either you're going to let McCoy run up the middle, or you're going to run on the outside and make the play. But the other option is the play action, hold the ball, make a pass to, Sammy Watkins, Charles Clay, Zay Jones, whatever, Philly Brown. So that's a couple looks that I'm pretty sure the offense is going to look like. And with that being said, let's move on to the defense. Welcome to Smart. Career as a Bill, because he could not fit in this offense, this defense. So your coordinator is Leslie Frazier. He was the head coach of the Vikings. He's a base 4-3 guy, a zone guy, a lot of cover 3, a lot of both corners run zone, deep zones, and have a center fielder type free safety in the middle of the field. Another deep zone. You'll see a lot of that. I put 4-3 under because, and here's why I came to that conclusion. So the Bills had 2 free agents at strong side linebacker this year, Lorenzo Alexander and Zach Brown. Now, if you're gonna move into a traditional 4-3 defense, and you had to let one go and sign one, my option would be to re-sign Zach Brown and let Lorenzo Alexander walk. And my reasons for that is that Zach Brown was a faster, better in coverage, more athletic guy, can play middle linebacker. That would give you Preston Brown, Reggie Ragland, and Zach Brown. They can all be interchangeable. You can do whatever you want. But since they signed Lorenzo Alexander and let Zach Brown go, that that leads to me to say that they're going to be a 4-3 under defense, where you're going to see your front four down in the 3-point stance, but Lorenzo Alexander will be right up on the line, ready to rush the quarterback. He'll be your primary pass rusher. And Reggie Ragland and Preston Brown will kind of cover both sides of the field and play as your more Mike role, as you would see. Even if Preston is a weak side linebacker, he'll still be in that middle linebacker role. Which brings me to my next point about McDermott's defense. So McDermott ran a weird-looking defense in Carolina, but it was very successful. It also was a pretty predictable defense to plan against. You would see Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, both at middle linebacker, covering both sides of the field with 5 linemen down. Now, this is why I think they re-signed Lorenzo Alexander, because Lorenzo Alexander can also play down on the 3-point stance, and there goes your 5-2 right there. You're going to see Micah Hyde coming down and dropping down to cover and be more of a strong, your prototype strong safety. And Ronald Darby, Tre'Davious White playing the zones on both sides. I think your nickel will be Sharice Wright. And then I think Johnson and Kevin Seymour make the roster as your backups. Now, I wanted to talk about Jordan Poyer a little bit. He kind of makes me nervous because he's not proven himself in this league yet. He played for the Browns. I don't know. Right now, it looks like the Bills are all in on this guy as their starting free safety. But I put down on the bottom of the screen possible free agent signings. I put down Jerry's Bird and Corey Graham, and here's why. Bird, as a free agent, he loved playing for Buffalo, and I can see him coming back. I don't see why not, because I think that's the biggest hole on our defense right now is free safety. And I also put Corey Graham there because Corey Graham's also a free agent, and not because they're familiar with these coaches, but I think because you can reunite him with guys like Marcel Darius and Kyle Williams, and you can rally your locker room around him. But Jerry's Bird, forget what he did in New Orleans. When he was here with the Bills, he was the franchise player. He got the franchise tag for a reason. And it's very possible that he could get signed back for the Bills, but I don't know. I'm kind of stretching on that one. So we'll give Jordan Poyer a chance to show what he's made of. With that being said, I want to show you some looks on the defense of what I think we're going to look like. So up top is the 4-3 under, and this is your traditional 4-3 under. As you can see on the right of the box, that's where Lorenzo Alexander is going to stand. He's going to stand up. He's going to be your strong linebacker on the right side, and he is going to be your primary pass rusher, but he can also drop back and, do some things like that. And you're going to see Reggie Ragland and Preston Brown split both sides of the field, as you see here with Luke Kuechly and I believe that's Thomas Davis. But as you see number 27 for Carolina, that's going to be Micah Hyde's role. Micah Hyde's going to be dropping down and you can see he did this with Green Bay. I think that's why they sought after him so fast, because this was his primary role, to play the big nickel. I think in this 4-2-5 formation that I'm showing here, you're going to see Sharice Wright come in as your second strong safety, or maybe you're just your nickel corner. Jordan Poyer playing center field as like a free safety center fielder, which Bird used to do very well for the Bills. This is why I think they should go after Bird. But, we'll see what happens with Poyer. I could be wrong about Poyer. Poyer could be good. You never know. But, like I said, Kyle Williams and Darius as your tackles, Shaq Lawson and Jerry Hughes as your ends, and you got Preston Brown and Reggie Ragland as your two linebackers. And this is when you'd see Lorenzo Alexander actually get off the field. Now, here's where I want to show you the famous 5-2 that Sean McDermott implemented in Carolina just a few seasons back. That was very successful, got them to the Super Bowl. But like I said, it was I think that's why they got beat so bad picked apart by Peyton Manning. Because when you look at a 5-2 front, you know what you're going to get. You got 5 linemen rushing the quarterback every single play. Blitz, 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 blitz. Your other 2 linebackers' primary goal is to stuff the run and cover tight ends and running backs. That's it. It's very simple, but it can be effective if the players are good. If the talent is there, which in the case of the Bills, I think it is there. So it could be very effective if they overpower their opponent. This can be very effective. I threw in a couple Madden plays because this is actually from these plays that you see are actually from the Carolina Panthers playbook. To show you that these are and Madden is very good at finding plays that are specific to teams. So these are McDermott plays. As you see, 5 linemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them. 5 linemen rushing, 2 linebackers playing zone, and then cover 3 almost on every single play with your 2 corners and your safety. So this is what our defense is primarily going to look like. I think in the sense of a 5-2, it's either going to be Adolphus Washington playing as your third tackle, or you might just have Kyle Williams slide over and Lorenzo Alexander play as another defensive end. So it could go either way. And like I said, Preston Brown and Reggie Ragland are your weak side and strong side linebackers, both playing the middle linebacker role in that type of defense. So this concludes my Meme Wednesday, episode 30 of the Smart Win Crazy Podcast. It was just me today. Joe was busy today. But we will be back on Monday and maybe on the weekend. We don't know yet. We'll let you know. Stay tuned. Stay smart. But most of all, stay crazy, y'all.